Good morning, everybody. This is our morning update. Today is December the 2nd, which is a Tuesday morning. First of all, let's take a look at pre-market trading and see where we're at. You can see up here on SPY, of course, our ETF based on the S&P 500, that we closed at 205.76. And if I look down here in pre-market trading, you'll see we're at 206.12 if we were to open right at this present minute. This is the minute chart that we're looking at. Well, that means we're up about 3 points. So I'm not sure if that will be a short-lived thing or an indication of a bounce, because if we look over here to the S&P 500, and I'll zoom in a bit on it. Let me find my mouse. There we go. Let me zoom in some more. Here we go. This is our 20-day moving average. Remember, I told you yesterday that it would be really healthy if we could get a breathe down to the 20-day moving average, and that may take a 1 or 2 day trip to get there. Hopefully that trip continues today. This, of course, blue line is our previous trend lines. We still have not drawn new trend lines. But speaking of trend lines, I want to mention that yesterday I talked to one of you guys on the phone. Somebody just getting into this, trying to see these things, and basically he was having difficulty seeing these trends and trying to make these predictions. And I told him, and I'll reiterate for you guys this morning, that we're at the end of a very old bull market. And that bull market may continue for a while if we keep having things happen in the news that help bolster it. But because it's a very old bull market, finding a trending stock is a little bit more hard to do. Now, they're still trending, but it's more difficult for a beginner to actually spot those trends. If we were in the middle of a bull market, seeing the up and down pattern in a stock and being able to draw trend lines on it would be relatively easy. So what I thought I would do this morning is pull up a stock, and we'll just pick this one to trend and follow along collectively as a group and see if we can spot those trends and see if the stock holds to that trend so that we can make predictions in buying or selling options. And the stock that I picked for you is IBM. So here's IBM right here, and this is the daily chart. And you'll see this big drop right here. This is when we had earnings seasons and they announced their earnings, and it crashed. So they failed to meet expectations. But if I back up on the day chart, let me back up. You can see that it has long runs of trending patterns, up and down movement that we can draw trend lines on. Here's one. Look at a third grader can draw trend lines off of that section. If I zoom in on this little section right here, you can see I've done so. A third grader could have drawn trend lines on this section. Slow down. Come on, Internet. There we go. A third grader could have drawn trend lines off of this section. And every once in a while, a stock will not trend in the same way forever. It trends a certain way for a while, and then it changes, and then you have to draw new trend lines, which is what we're waiting to do on the S&P 500. So let's take a look right here. You can see that it's creating some trend line patterns. I actually like this one a lot because this one looks a little bit more predictable. So let's draw some trend lines on this, and in our morning updates, we'll kind of follow this along just as a practical exercise of training our brain to see trends. So again, we're on the daily chart, and you can see it kind of has moved to a rolling stock. You can kind of see the heartbeat of the stock, the up and down pattern. So how we would draw that trend line, I would go up to my trend line tool. There we go. And I'm going to draw it from the top of this peak. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to go to the top of that. You can see that that intersects with those two peaks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on my trend line and say Create Parallel Line. And it did. And I'm just going to adjust that just a little bit. Try to pull it down. And I like that because I'm intersecting right here and I'm intersecting right here. Yes, it dips below it on this particular day, but it seems to intersect with the most candles in this position. So there's my new trend. And so here we are. This was yesterday. And we want to concede is not a word. It is now because I just said it. We want to see if we continue down today and meet resistance on our floor, this baseline, this bottom line of our trend line, and see if we find support there and move back up again. So let's follow this for the next few days. Hopefully the stock doesn't change. in the next few days, and we can continue to follow that trend. What I suggest that all of you do, at the website, on the front page of the website, we've got some core stocks that we like to look at because they're proven and reliable. And out of that core bundle, we suggest that you take 3, 4, maybe 5, no more than 5 stocks that you just become intimate with. If you can't watch a stock move throughout the day, what I suggest you do is when you come home from work, spend some time with your kids, your family, eat supper, take a shower, and then sit down and spend 30 minutes to an hour examining those key stocks, those 3, 4, 5 stocks that you want to become more familiar with. Pull them up on the daily chart, pull them up on the minute chart, and see how they're moving. Okay, then jump over into Yahoo Finance or CNN's Money and pull up that stock ticker and see if anything happened in the world of news around them. And I apologize if you hear a phone ringing in the background. Of course, I'm doing this out of my office and I left the door open, so the house phone's ringing. Anyway, pull up that stock on the minute chart, look for a trend. Pull up the stock ticker in Yahoo Finance, CNN's Money, and see if the Street. See if you can find Market Watch. See if you can find any news associated with that may have influenced how that stock moved throughout the day. Okay, and see if you can start to see the patterns. And the only way that you're going to start to see those patterns if you spend time with them every single day. That's the only way it's going to happen. Okay, but the more time that you spend with them, even if you're spending that time in retrospect, the day has already finished. Okay, you're looking past tense to see what happened throughout the day. Even if you're doing that, you'll begin to notice those trends. You just will. Okay, and so it's a great training exercise, and we're going to do that, of course, with IBM over the next few days. So today, I'm hoping that the S&P 500 moves down to that 20-day moving average, or at least moves sideways so that those moving day average lines can move up. And I'll make one more mention, of course. When you're looking at your moving day average lines, you need to make sure that you're rotating through the different variables. So I'm going to go to Edit. There we go. Right now we're looking at the 20-day exponential, but if I move it to simple, you see how it moved up? I want to see which one it's going to run into first. So rotate through simple, exponential, and front weighted and see where those are. And you can see we actually went through the front weighted. Okay, the next one that may offer some support is the simple, because that's the one that's next closest. We want to rotate through those because you're not really sure which one of those three that it's going to find support on. Okay, so hopefully that helps. We'll touch some more on that particular subject as well again tomorrow. And not just talk about what we think the stock market is going to do, but continue like an education process, especially in these moments when we're not actually trading because we're waiting to see what comes out of the market and what's going to happen. So hopefully that helps. Talk to you later. Peace out. Bye.